Scorpio, you'll meet someone who will see through all your protective layers as if they were transparent glass. And this will terrify you in a way you've never felt before. Because for the first time in your life, you won't be able to hide anything at all. All those parts of yourself you keep locked away, all those feelings you never reveal, all those secret fears you don't even want to admit. This person will see everything without you having to say a word, as if they have direct access to the most confidential files of your soul. You've spent your entire life building emotional fortresses. You learned from an early age to guard your true feelings, to show only what's safe to reveal, to maintain absolute control over who has access to your inner world. And it worked. You became a master at creating distance even when you're close, at making people believe they know you when they've barely scratched the surface of who you really are. This gave you power, it gave you security, it gave you the feeling that you would never be completely vulnerable to anyone. But the universe is about to send someone who will demolish this entire defense system without even trying. Not because this person is manipulative or invasive, but because they have a natural ability to read you that goes beyond reason. It's as if they speak the secret language of your soul, as if there's an energetic connection so deep that your masks simply don't work with them. And that, Scorpio, will scare you more than any rejection, more than any betrayal you've ever experienced. The scary thing isn't that this person will hurt you, it's that they'll see you completely. They'll know your shadows and won't shy away from them. They'll perceive your defense mechanisms and cut through them with disturbing ease. They'll feel your emotions before you even fully understand what you're feeling. And you, who have always been the one to read others, the one who reads between the lines, the one who sees what no one else sees, will be on the other side of this dynamic for the first time. Imagine what it's like for you, who so highly value control, to encounter someone who sees through it effortlessly. Imagine what it's like for you, who pride yourself on your depth and complexity, to encounter someone who navigates your most turbulent waters as if they had a detailed map of your inner self. Imagine what it's like for you, who have always been the silent observer, the analyst of human motivations, to be completely observed and analyzed by someone who does it better than you. In your first encounters with this person, you'll feel something strange. A mixture of fascination and dread. You'll want to get closer and run away at the same time, because part of you will recognize that you've finally found someone who can understand you on levels you didn't even know you needed to be understood. But another part, the part that built such high walls to protect itself, will panic completely. You'll try your usual tricks. You'll try to create emotional distance while maintaining physical closeness. You'll try to divert conversations when they get too deep. You'll try to use your natural intensity as a way to intimidate or push them away. But nothing will work with this person. They'll smile gently when you try to scare them. They'll lean in closer when you try to create distance. They'll ask even deeper questions when you try to keep things superficial. And then comes the scariest part of all. You'll realize you don't want her to leave. Even with all the discomfort, even with all the fear of being completely known, you'll feel a magnetic pull toward this connection, because deep down, beneath all the layers of protection, there's a part of you that's exhausted from always hiding, always guarding, always controlling. A part that has secretly longed all its life to find someone in front of whom it could simply be, without filters, without masks, without fear. For Scorpios born between October 23rd and November 2nd, this person will appear at a time when you're particularly tired of superficiality. You'll recognize them by the immediate depth they bring, by the way conversations with them touch places no one else can reach. For those born between November 3rd and 12th, the encounter will be even more intense because they'll mirror aspects of you that you'd rather keep hidden. For those born between November 13th and 22nd, this person will arrive when you're at the peak of emotional control, and precisely for this reason, the impact will be devastating. They'll dismantle that control in ways you can't predict or avoid. The universe knows exactly what it's doing when it sends this person your way. It knows you need this experience of being completely seen to finally allow true love into your life. Because as long as you keep parts of yourself locked away and hidden, no connection will be completely real, and superficial connections don't satisfy a Scorpio. You know this. You've always known. But the truth is, you've been using your fear of vulnerability as an excuse to keep relationships at a safe distance. You let people get close enough, then erect an invisible wall they can never break through. And you called it protection, wisdom, learning from past mistakes. But what it really was fear. Fear that if someone saw you fully, they'd discover you're not as strong as you seem, not as invulnerable as you project, not as unbreakable as you pretend. Scorpio, I know that as you listen to me, you're feeling that familiar tightness in your chest, the one that comes when someone gets too close to the truth you've been keeping, the one that appears when you recognize something in yourself that you'd rather keep hidden. You're used to carrying everything alone, to processing your emotions in silence, to never showing when you truly need someone. And maybe today is the first time someone has told you that it's okay to be afraid of true intimacy, that it's understandable to want to protect yourself after everything you've been through, that your need for control isn't weakness, it's a survival mechanism that has served you well for a long time. But it's also time to recognize that this same mechanism is now preventing you from experiencing the kind of deep connection your soul truly craves. I need you to stop and acknowledge this. Leave a comment right now saying, "I'm ready to be seen completely, even if it scares me." This isn't just a comment, it's a statement of courage. It's you admitting that despite all the fear, despite all the defenses, you're willing to open yourself to true connection. And when you write this, you're inspiring other Scorpios struggling with the same fear to also take this courageous step toward authentic vulnerability. Your courage is contagious. Your growth matters. And you deserve to be loved exactly as you are, including the parts you've always hidden. The person the universe is sending you won't pressure you to open up. They'll simply be there, present, patient, observing everything without judgment. And this will be even scarier than if they demanded explanations or forced confessions, because you're used to resisting pressure, to closing yourself off even more when someone tries to invade your emotional space. But how do you resist someone who isn't trying to invade anything, just understanding? You'll notice that with this person, your silences speak louder than your words, that they understand what you don't say better than what you verbalize, that they perceive nuances of your emotions that you didn't even know were visible. It's as if they have emotional X-ray vision, seeing through all the layers of cynicism, sarcasm, and indifference you wear as armor. And here's the truly frightening detail. She'll love you precisely because of the things you thought you needed to hide. Your shadows won't push her away. They'll bring her closer. Your intensity won't scare her. It'll fascinate her. Your depth won't be too much for her. It'll be exactly what she's been looking for. Everything you thought you needed to soften, control, or hide to be lovable, she'll love without reservation. This will completely challenge your understanding of love and acceptance, because you're used to believing that true love requires you to keep certain parts of yourself hidden, that if someone truly knew your darkest parts, your most intense thoughts, your most overwhelming emotions, they'd run away. But they'll do the opposite. They'll draw even closer. They'll want to explore every corner of your psyche. They'll feel privileged to have access to aspects of you that no one else sees. In the first few months of this connection, you'll go through an intense internal struggle. There will be days when you feel incredibly connected and vulnerable with this person, allowing them to see sides of you you've never revealed to anyone else. And then you'll panic, pull away, build walls again, and try to regain control. They'll notice this pattern. They'll understand your escape mechanisms, and instead of getting tired or giving up, they'll learn to give you space when you need it. But they'll never truly leave. And this will scare you too, because you're used to pushing people away when the discomfort of intimacy becomes too great. You test their limits, push until they tire and leave, and then use it as confirmation that no one can truly handle your intensity. But this person won't fall for that trap. They'll recognize your tests for what they are, disguised requests for someone to prove they're strong enough to stay. Connecting with this person will force you to confront all your beliefs about relationships. You've always believed that maintaining control was essential to protecting yourself. But you'll discover that with this person, letting go of control is what truly creates security. You've always believed that showing your vulnerabilities meant giving someone power over you, but you'll learn that shared vulnerability is what creates true connection. You'll realize that she too has her own shadows, her own complexities, her own intensities. And instead of this driving you apart, it will create a deep, mutual understanding. You'll recognize in each other the capacity to feel at depths most people avoid. You'll see each other in ways the rest of the world doesn't understand or fears. There will be moments when the intensity of this connection will seem overwhelming even for you, who live in constant intensity. You'll have conversations that last all night because neither of you can stop exploring each other's depths. You'll experience silences charged with meaning, where non-verbal communication speaks louder than 1,000 words. You'll feel each other's emotions even from a distance, as if there were an invisible thread connecting your souls. And you'll realize this is the connection you've always longed for, but were afraid to admit. Because wanting something so deep meant admitting you needed someone, that you weren't completely self-sufficient, that there was a thirst inside you for true intimacy that no amount of control could quench. Scorpio, the frightening detail of this person the universe is sending you isn't something negative, disguised as positive. It's something profoundly transformative, disguised as threatening, because true transformation always frightens before it liberates. It always deconstructs before it rebuilds. It always requires you to die to the old version of yourself before being reborn into something more complete. This person will see you in moments you'd rather be invisible. They'll sense when you're sad, even when you smile. They'll sense when you're scared, even when you act confident. They'll know your deepest insecurities, even when you project invulnerability. And instead of using this knowledge against you or shying away in fear of your complexity, they'll love you more deeply because of them. You'll discover that being fully seen isn't the terrifying vulnerability you always imagined. It's a relief, it's a liberation. It's finally being able to lay down your weapons and rest from a battle you fought alone for too long. It's discovering that you don't have to be strong all the time, that you don't have to have all the answers, that you don't have to control everything to be loved. The universe chose this person specifically for you because they have exactly the qualities needed to help you evolve beyond the patterns that keep you stuck. They won't complete you in the cliched romantic sense. You're already complete, but they will challenge you to integrate parts of yourself that you've kept separate. They will show you that you can be deeply vulnerable and still be strong, that you can be completely seen and still be safe. Over the next few months, as this connection develops, you'll go through phases of resistance and surrender. There will be moments when you want to sabotage everything because the intimacy is becoming too intense. Your instinct will be to push this person away before they have a chance to hurt you. But something different will happen this time. You'll be able to recognize these patterns as they unfold. You'll see your defense mechanisms activating and will have the awareness to choose differently. And every time you choose to stay instead of run, choose to open up instead of shut down, choose to trust instead of control, you will grow stronger in ways you never imagined. Because true strength doesn't come from never showing weakness. It comes from having the courage to be vulnerable, even when everything inside you screams for protection. The person who's coming will teach you that true love doesn't require you to be perfect, invulnerable, or always in control. It just requires you to be real And for a Scorpio, accustomed to wearing masks even in intimate moments, being completely real is the greatest risk there is. But it's also the greatest reward. You'll learn that when someone sees you completely, with all your shadows, all your fears, all your intensities, and chooses to stay, it creates a foundation of trust that no amount of control could build. You'll discover that true security doesn't come from keeping people at a safe distance, but from being with someone who knows your depths and chooses to dive into them with you instead of running away. The scary detail will become the most liberating detail of your life. Because you'll finally have someone with whom you can be completely yourself, someone who won't judge you for your intensity, won't ask you to be less profound, won't expect you to soften your emotions or control your passion. Someone who will celebrate exactly who you are, including the parts you always thought you needed to hide. Scorpio, the universe is sending this person not to destroy you with forced vulnerability, but to free you from the prisons you've built yourself. To show you that you can be seen completely and still be loved. To teach you that control isn't the same as security, and that true intimacy requires the courage to let go of that control. Get ready, not because something bad is coming, but because something profoundly transformative is on its way. Something that will shake everything you believed about yourself, about relationships, about love. And yes, it will scare you. But it will also heal parts of you didn't even know were wounded. If this video touched wounds you didn't know were still raw, if you recognized your fear of being completely seen, if you felt that tightness in your chest that comes when someone speaks truths you'd rather continue avoiding, this isn't a coincidence. It's recognition. It's your soul confirming that it's ready for this transformation, even if your mind is still resisting. Share in the comments if you're ready for this experience, even if it scares you. No need to explain the details. Just acknowledge that you saw the truth in the words and are willing to open yourself up to it. Your courage will inspire other Scorpios to choose vulnerability over control. Subscribe to the channel, because this upcoming transformation will require ongoing support. You'll need reminders that you're safe even without complete control. You'll need guidance on how to navigate true intimacy without sabotaging it. You'll need encouragement for when the fear of being seen tries to make you run away again. Turn on notifications to receive content that will strengthen you in this process of opening up. The universe sent someone special. The detail that will scare you is precisely the one that will set you free. And you're more ready for this than you think.